we as human beings, we need something more every single day, because I know I do. I'm not a needy person, but when you speak the right appreciation language to someone, you just watch them grow and watch them smile and feel valued and appreciated, and you can show that you know them and that they matter. And that is the most powerful thing you can do for any human being.
For too long, talented experts with a service-based business like coaches, consultants, and freelancers have been losing out to the often inferior competition. And for just one reason, they struggle to communicate the true value of what they offer. This is made all the more challenging if you have a quieter personality or don't already have a solid marketing background. If you can relate, I'm excited that you're here because I believe that Value with Spring can help. It's the art of getting to know your true value, then weaving this through every interaction that you have so you naturally stand apart from your competitors, feel aligned in everything that you do, and have an impact that matters. Welcome. I'm your host, Melita Campbell, and I'm excited to be your guide in mastering the art of Value with Spring. One thing Value with Spring does for your business is it helps you to stand out and be remembered for the way you make an impact in the lives of others. Not just your clients, but everyone who comes into contact with you or your business. Which is why I'm excited for today's discussion with Susie Sprigg, the UK's leading disc profiler and a true people strategist. She's going to talk about the power of appreciation in building confidence and relationships, starting with ourselves, so we can create a positive impact through our businesses that we feel proud of. A wise mentor once advised me to go into every conversation with the aim of leaving the other person feeling a little bit better about themselves. And Susie's method that she's going to share today will help you to do just that. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to join the Dream Clients Club, the free community that accompanies this show and your business growth. It's where you can continue to discuss the themes from today's show, attend weekly live marketing and mindset masterclasses with me, and access business growth tools and training, and be part of a wonderfully supportive community of like minds. You can find the Dream Clients Club by visiting melitacampbell.com/club. The best part is that just like this podcast, it's completely free and packed with ideas to support your business growth. So come and join us at melitacampbell.com/club. Okay, so on to today's show. So hi, Susie, welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited about what we're going to talk about today.
Me too. I can't wait to dive in. But before we do, I would love it if you could tell the audience a little bit about your story, how you got to where you are today, and maybe how you discovered this particular topic and the power of appreciation.
Okay, so before I became a business owner, which I'm very proud to say I'm a business owner for 4 years, and I love saying that because so many business owners, we're so passionate about what we do, and then we start our own business and we're so excited, and then we don't realize how actually difficult it is, because there's so many more things you need to know when running a business. And if we haven't got the right team and people and support and encouragement around us, so often when we're in our low moments, we can give up and just go and get a proper job. So I'm really, really proud of still being here 4 years and going. And I always like to say to my friends that I'm unemployable now. I'm unemployable. There is no other way for me. Before I was a business owner, I'm a business coach, supporting women in business while they're going through their growth and personal development journey as they're running their business and growing their business. I look after them as they're looking after everybody else. I'm a qualified accountant and project manager, and I was always bringing about change in businesses through implementing systems and finance processes. But on that journey, I realized there's a common denominator in everything that we do, and that is people. People are everywhere. I don't know if you've noticed. People are everywhere, and whether a project was a success or a fail depended on how each and every person was communicated with. And it's only when you look back, isn't it? Isn't it only when you look back you can join the dots up? And that's what I've come to realize. I was naturally good at understanding people and what their needs are and being able to adapt my style to their style. But at the time, everyone just used to say to me, all you do, Sue, is walk around the office and talk a lot. That's all you do. And at the time, I didn't think that my boss liked me very much because all they did was give me the worst performing team, the worst client, the biggest sickness problems, or the KPIs, the worst performing KPIs, or new teams. And I thought, what have I done wrong? You just think, what have I done wrong? Why do you keep giving me this? But after 6 months, the teams were happy, motivated, we're reaching our KPIs, the client was happy. And someone said to me, what is it you do? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just me. I'm just generally interested in people. I listen to them and I understand them. And hopefully, we all want to come to work and have a good time, don't we? Because we're at work for 8, 9 hours. And if not, you're thinking about work. And then my life changed forever in April 2019. That was the day my husband passed away. Very unexpected. He went out to work and didn't come home. And I was 43 years old. And when grieving changed to healing, which it does, I want people to know who are out there that, grieving does turn to healing and you can feel that shift. I went on some personal development myself because I started to think, well, what do I do now? What's my future? And then I started to think about, well, what do you enjoy? What do you like doing? What brings you joy? So I discovered DISC personality profiling. I went on a 1-day course, and that was my light bulb moment. For the first time ever, I understood me. I understood all my wonderful qualities and the ones I'm not so good at, because we've got our strengths and we've got our not so good qualities, but there are always areas to work on. And when I had my DISC report, I read about myself. I thought, oh my God, that's me. And I am absolutely amazing, because all my life I've been in the wrong environment, pushing and trying to do better. And everybody else kept saying, why are you so happy? Or why are you so loud? I can hear you before I can see you. I was just in the wrong environment. I was with those reserved task people, and I'm more outgoing, people focused. I generally believe if you put people first, profit and the results will come. Whereas the environment I was in, it's profit, show me the evidence where things will work, return on investment was first, and you can replace people. And it never really resonated with me. And that's probably why I had quite a few jobs. I tried searching for that place who had the same values as me. And then that's why I thought, you know what? You don't get taught people skills. Have you noticed? When I really reflected on, what line managers, have you ever had someone in your life who's really supported and encouraged you? What qualities did they have? And I looked back, and it was 2 line managers that I had were really positive role models and mentors. And I thought, it's because they was just interested in me, interested in my success, in my life, and they wanted the best for me. And if they could do anything they could in that work environment or my personal life, they would. And I thought, what? You don't get taught people skills. Most people in a work environment or at school or anything like that, we get taught academia, but we don't get taught how to communicate with people, how to understand ourselves, how to get our message across in a way, those words and the vocabulary to explain ourselves, to understand the other person, and to adapt our style so that we can communicate and both get our needs met. So that's when I went, everyone needs to know this. And that was my eureka moment. I'm going to start my own business in lockdown, like I'm sure a lot of people did. And then you start to go, oh, why is no one listening? Because it's hard, isn't it? Most people, when they start their own business, they've got the passion and they've had the courage to let go, or they've had a significant event that's gone, yes, I'm ready to start my business. And then they just go, oh, I didn't realize it was that's difficult. And that's when sometimes they might keep going a bit longer or give up. And this is why I created my coaching program, to support those women to do not give up. You've got this. You found your calling. You're doing it. There is no other way for you. And let's try and enjoy it and keep going.
Yeah.
So today I'm here to talk about people and communication, and how you can have a great day every day by just using these couple of tools or knowledge I'm going to share with you today.
I love that on so many levels. I've been running this business now for 15 years, and starting a business is easier and harder than you think. It's easier because you've pretty much got all the skills that you need. You're an expert, you've got the passion, the vision. It's all good. Harder because often that communication piece, as you say, is missing, and the support network around you is missing, and the mindset behind that. Yeah, I can do this. I can do hard things. I can move through that. It's really, really difficult to do that. So I love everything that you said, and it's really going to make such a difference for all of us, I think, and in making that connection. And I remember the last boss I had, he was an amazing mentor, and he gave me a book. It's called The One Thing Every Manager Should Know. And that the one thing is care about your people. Just listen to them, be interested. And when you are interested and you know what they want, where they can shine, and you kind of work with them, then you unlock their potential to do all sorts more than they ever realized, and that you ever realized. And it is just caring about people. But I also know from my work in corporate, I was head of communication, and I used to do leadership communication coaching and training with the sort of top 60 leaders in this bank. And most of them were terrified about communication. No one's ever been taught this stuff, even basic things. They were never taught, oh, how do I do this? And how do I engage my team and show appreciation? And so they didn't have team communications. They would rather not communicate than risk getting it wrong, or being, and I think there's a lot of imposter syndrome as well. Or if I say too much, people will realize that I don't really know what I'm talking about, or they'll ask a question I can't answer. And it's like, well, that's good. You don't need to know the answers. It's those moments of vulnerability that actually draw people to you. But as you say, when you mentioned there that you had this skill to listen, to understand, to make other people feel heard. And I really believe that's the biggest gift you can give to anyone. So yeah, so much of what you said there is just, I think we could just stop the interview now. That's already like really amazing, everything you shared. But one thing that we were talking about before, which really piqued my interest, was that there are these 5 languages of appreciation. Can you tell me a little bit more of that? I know I'm familiar with the 5 love languages, which I really enjoy.
It's the 5 love languages. So I do personal development. In the morning, I follow the Miracle Morning. Have you heard Miracle Morning from Hal Elrod?
Yes.
And it's 6 things that you do. And one of the things is to read a book, to learn. And all we're doing now is translating or speaking about our knowledge that we've learned from our life. So this book that I read was 5 love languages. I didn't read that one, to be honest. It's a little bit too cheesy for me. But the 5 appreciation languages in the workplace, and the 5 love languages of teenagers, because that was important to me at the time. And then all I've done is packaged it up and talked about it in normal everyday speak with normal everyday people. So I have a new fiance now, I have new stepchildren, I have a sister, family members. I also have in my business colleagues, clients, suppliers. The people are everywhere, and I use these 5 languages of appreciation on me and also everywhere else. So the 5 languages of appreciation are, and I'll just list them now and I'll give you some examples. So there's one is words of affirmation. So it's words. So it's how you can show appreciation through using your words. Before I carry on, actually, let me just go back a little bit more. Do you remember in the workplace? Because I always, work has got so much structure, hasn't it? It has got structure. And when you come out of that, there maybe isn't so much structure in the home life or in your business life. But I remember being fully employed, And I might be showing appreciation or reward or recognition or support or encouragement or inspiration or motivation once a year, where maybe or maybe not you might get an annual bonus. That's what corporates are doing now, really, because profit is a bit tight. So they're trying to dangle a carrot in front of you for 365 days of the year for something you might or might not get. And I think since lockdown, we as human beings, we need something more every single day, because I know I do. I'm not a needy person, but when you speak the right appreciation language to someone, you just watch them grow and watch them smile and feel valued and appreciated. And you can show that you know them and that they matter. And that is the most powerful thing you can do for any human being. So there are 5 languages of appreciation. And we're going to share them with you now. And what I want you to think about as I'm sharing them with you is, which ones do you think you are? And this is really important because we always say, why don't they show me this? Why don't they? Well, we're not mind readers for a start. So once you know what languages resonate with you, you can then start communicating with somebody else, your partner, your children, about how you would like to feel appreciated or valued. Because we want to show you, but we're just showing you in the wrong language. Just like communication, we communicate in our own style. When we show appreciation, we show people in our own style. But actually, appreciation needs to be shown in the other person's style, language.
I discovered that when I read the book, and I had a complete disconnect with my husband. And all of a sudden, when I was like, oh, he's acts of service and I'm physical touch. So like where I just need a hug, he's kind of creating me spreadsheets. And I'm just like, why are you doing that? But then I realized, oh, because he loves me. And it was so nice. And then I went back to, and I could see all the different ways he was showing that love and appreciation for me that I had completely missed. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, he's probably missing what I'm doing as well. And so I tried to then, as you say, show it in his language. And it was such a small thing, or such an easy thing to do. And it just made all the difference. It's so powerful.
When you know these 5, it gives you a toolkit to run off these 5. And you'll remember them because 3 of them are probably your languages, and 1 of them probably doesn't even resonate with you. So you've remembered 4 easily. And then you just practice and you just watch your life get better and better and better every single day. So here's the 5. 1 is words of affirmation. So words is using words either in the spoken form or the written form. And so it's what people will hear or what people will see. And the basic form would be to say thank you. And you can use words to appreciate people's effort or results. That's an easy one, isn't it? But sometimes we might not have done really well, so you appreciate them for their efforts. Or you can appreciate them for their personality qualities or how they make you feel. So some examples might be in a work environment. If someone's always coming in early, and they're coming in early because they want to get some work done so that your life's easier, you can just say, do you know what? I really appreciate you coming in early because I know that you're getting work done so that you can clear, you can clear the desk, or you're trying to make my life easier. So what you're doing is recognizing their efforts, and so they feel seen. Just mean, don't just walk past people. Oh, every day in the office, people just used to walk in and walk past people as if you didn't exist. So just saying simple good morning makes you feel seen. I know people who love to write notes to people. That's not me, but like sticky notes in lunchboxes or sticky notes on desks, to show that I'm thinking of you. Does that make sense? I'm words, just so you know, I'm words. So my partner is words as well. So when you are the same language, it's easy and effortless because you are naturally doing something that comes naturally to you. But if someone isn't words and you're constantly telling them how good they're doing and they're just ignoring you, how does it feel where you're trying to show appreciation and they're just like, it's just hitting a brick wall? Sometimes you might stop. So what I'm trying to say to you is, don't stop, just try something different.
Yeah, exactly. And well, the negative side of that, I was telling you just before, there was an incident here a few years ago now, but there was a pilot and he crashed his plane into the Alps here because he felt so invisible because no one ever said thank you to him. That's what he wrote in his note about why he did it. No one used his name, no one said thank you, and it had that awful consequence. So, it can really hurt people not
Mhm.
to be recognized. And when I worked in banking in the insurance department, they had this little thing where everyone was given 5 pieces of paper and it said on it, I really appreciate you because, and then they were encouraged to use those 5 pieces of paper and give them to a colleague throughout the week. And often people would print out more because once you got in the habit of doing it, they were doing it all the time. And everybody said it was the best department to work for. Everyone appreciated everyone else, and the productivity and results for that team went through the roof just because everyone got in the habit of saying thank you. It's really powerful.
Well, it will feel uncomfortable at first. That's the whole point. It feels weird. It'll feel uncomfortable, and that's okay because feeling uncomfortable means you grow in your comfort zone. So the next one is quality time. And I mean quality here, not just time. And what you're doing here when you give someone quality time is giving them your most precious resource, which is time. Because we know as we get older, time is limited, isn't it? Time is our most precious resource. And what quality time means, it's quality time for the other person. Okay, so it might not be quality time with you. You might be giving them space and time to have that quality time with somebody else. Does that make sense?
Mm.
So my wonderful new fiance, which I hope I get time to tell you about, he's got two stepchildren. One's in Scotland and one's local. And I'm always conscious because his other love language is quality time with me and with his children. So I'm always conscious to making sure he's got space and time, guilt free, to do that video call, to take his son to football. Do you know what I mean? Where I've seen other friends of mine who might be a little bit jealous about that, and they're not creating that space, making them feel guilty about having that time. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Or even in a work environment, the person you're managing, their appreciation language might be quality time, but not necessarily with you. So if you want to reward them, you can might give them time off, for example, to go and do something with their family. So quality time. So me and my sisters, we're all quality time. We're older now, we're all plus 48 plus. And at Christmas, we don't need more gifts. We've got everything we need at our stage in life. But as we get older, our lives get fuller. And before we realize it, if we don't make conscious effort to put time in our diary to meet up, the year can go by and we've not seen each other. Because the years fly by, don't they? Have you noticed that as you get older? So what we do at Christmas, we put money in a kitty. We all put £150 in. So we've got £450 every year to spend on stuff we want to do. So we always meet up, quality time, something that we've all agreed to do. It's not something that one person wants to do and the others are like, oh, don't really want to do that. And it might be something things like go to a spa, go and watch a show, go for a meal. But we put time in the diary to do that. And I'm always thinking, because I'm an accountant, it's free. Do you know what I mean? And Kitty gets to pay for it. So just be mindful what that quality time is. Have you got any stories about quality time?
Yeah, I was just thinking like how we can use these towards our clients and build it into the way that we run our business. So one thing I've done in terms of words is if someone new or someone that I know comments on my posts on LinkedIn, for example, very often I'll go back and say, hey, thanks for commenting. It's really interesting. And so often that leads into a really nice conversation and new people into my network who I actually know. And it started from appreciation. So it's a really nice, powerful point. And this quality time, I was thinking, yeah, you could do some special events for your clients or little extra things that you add in a bit more time or invite people to a special call with you if they've been loyal, and like little ways to say thank you, but through quality time. Events could also be a way to bring in quality time that we share with our audience as well. So yeah, I think it's really interesting, and to look at how we can use that to build our personal relationships, our relationships at work and in our businesses. I think it's going to be really, really interesting, and a different way to look at things as well. We always say, sales is service, but, understanding that it's showing love as well, I think is really powerful.
Yeah, because when you've got a service business, it is how you showing people that you understand their needs. Is that not the whole point, isn't it? When you're understanding your clients' needs, and so which is one way is how they like to be appreciated. Are they not being appreciated right now? So the third love language, appreciation language, is acts of service. So there's two types for this. One is some people just love to help others. They just really get their needs met when they're knowing that by the act of helping somebody else that they're getting their needs met. And other people like to receive help. There's two types of acts of service. So my fiance, for example, he loves cooking. He loves cooking for me because he knows, and I'm showing my appreciation. His food's delicious, or I'm sharing that his food's delicious, how much he's helping me in other areas of my life because he's taking care of me by cooking for me. Do you know what I mean? So it's he loves the act of service for cooking, and I'm showing him appreciation for doing that. So it's that beautiful relationship. Whereas in his previous life, he was doing the same offering of cooking, but no one valued and appreciated it. So he stopped doing it. He fell out of love with cooking, because they were just taking it for granted and not even speaking to him. So you can see how someone's passion can just dissolve if they're not feeling valued and appreciated.
Yeah. It almost feels like we could do that acts of service and appreciation towards ourselves in our business. There was Abby on the podcast about a year ago now, but there was one phrase she said, it really stuck with me. It's like, what can I do today to help future Abby? And that's an act of service, isn't it? Showing yourself that love. And Tom was talking about the power of self-compassion and why that's so important. So I think with this acts of service, it could almost be something you do for yourself too.
And I will go on to that at the end. I have a challenge for everyone at the end.
Another good challenge.
I also wish I knew this now because I told my story earlier about my wonderful husband passing away. His appreciation language was acts of service all day long. He was 10 years older than me, and I remember being probably a spoiled little Kevin. Do you remember Kevin? Like, oh God. Because every time we was on holiday or walking anywhere, he would be looking for people to help. And a walk would take 10 times as long, because he'd go, oh, if someone's gardening or along the beach, if someone was trying to set up a sale, anything, he'd just be walking over, go, hi mate, how are you? Do you need any help? And I'd be going, oh God, he's helping someone again. And really now I could look back and think, God, how horrible, because all he wanted to do was feel good by helping someone, get his needs met by helping someone. And all I was doing was making it more difficult for him. Does that make sense? I don't kick myself because you can't change the past, but what I can do is be mindful of it, recognize that in somebody else, and give them the space and the opportunity to get their needs met by helping people. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that you said there that you don't kick yourself about that, because we're always doing the best we can with the knowledge and information we have at the time. And as you say, you can't go back and change it anyway, but we're always doing the best in that moment. The fact that in the future we'll do better is irrelevant. So I love that you mentioned that there.
So what have we got next? So the fourth one is tangible gifts. Now, it's a token gesture, this tangible gift. It's not like bribery or guilt gifting, because you're not giving people your time, you're trying to just fob them off with gifts. It's a token gesture to show that you're thinking of them. Could be a little cup of coffee, where you're just bringing, someone's rushing in the morning, you're just bringing them their favourite coffee. Now, coffee at the moment, it's not just as simple as a black coffee. There's 101 ways you can have a coffee, isn't there? So if you're actually bringing someone a coffee that they want, almond milk, that kind of thing. Or it could be, so I've got a story that I always share. 10 years ago now, I used to work with a team of people, and one lady loved watermelons. She loved watermelon. She had a watermelon t-shirt, pencil case, pen, pad, anything watermelon. And I was at an expo, and funnily enough, they was giving away a keyring with a watermelon on. And I saw that and I thought, oh, she'll love this. So I kindly took one and went back to work the next day and just presented it to her. I said, oh, do you know what? I was at an expo yesterday and I saw this watermelon keyring and I thought you'd appreciate it. She welled up. She welled up and nearly, cried and said, thank you. Now, at the time, again, I didn't know about these appreciation languages. That made me feel awkward. And I went, "It's all right, don't mention it," and stepped away. And a couple of years ago, I saw her in a local shopping centre. And after chatting for a few seconds, the first thing she said was, "I've still got that keyring. I've still got it. You don't realise how much that meant to me at that time." And I was thinking, it was only a free keyring. Again, by showing people that you've understood them, that you're interested in them, and spoken to them in their language, that leaves a long lasting impression on people as well. Because you and I know it's how you make people feel, which is the most important lasting impression, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And often, so some of the words you said there when you gave her that hearing was, I saw this and thought of you. Now, one of the ways that we follow up after networking, a sales call, how we nurture and build our audience is to say things like, oh, I saw this event or this article and thought of you. Is that still count as a gift?
Yes. Yes. Yes, because you're giving them something, aren't you?
Mm.
And again, we all, if we've got your own business, it's the fortunes in the follow up, isn't it? And it's another way that you can add this into your follow up sequence.
Yeah.
Once you know this and you understanding your clients more, you can target the right follow up sequence to them. It's not a case of everyone has the same scattergun follow up sequence, really. But yes, it is. I saw this and thought of you. You're giving them something, aren't you?
Yeah. And that really then reinforces that you did listen to them, you did understand them, you heard what their real needs were. And sometimes it's listening between the lines as well. That can be almost more powerful than hearing what they actually say and reflecting that back. So, yeah, that's it. So, number 5, the last one.
Physical touch.
Mm.
So I'm a hugger and I will tell everybody I'm a hugger. I will warn them. But what I don't do though is still going for a hug if I can see that they're not. There's a difference. Again, it's you're not imposing your style onto somebody else. You're aware of the other person's style and then adapting you to them. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So I've always been a natural instinctive toucher. So in a work environment is a little bit different. But like how you celebrate. I'm always put your hand on someone's shoulder or a high five, or I'm always quite tactile. So in your personal relationships, that's okay, but you've got to be adjusting in your work relationships. But again, I talk about lockdown. I think we've come out of lockdown completely different human beings. I think we know a little bit more about what we need and we don't compromise. We're very demanding on what we need. So hopefully with these 5 appreciation languages, you've got the vocabulary to maybe articulate more about what you're looking for and how to get your needs met. So again, you can have more than one, and probably over time, all of them are what you might need, but some are more stronger than others. So I'm definitely 3. I'm all 5, to be honest. Why wouldn't you want to be all 5? But I'm definitely words. So I'm always I'm looking for feedback. Am I doing okay? Just me. I need that validation or reassurance. And again, you can use that when you're giving feedback to people. We never taught to give feedback, how we were always taught about that shit butty, give a compliment, tell them how shit they are, they give them another compliment, right? But really, it's like, this is what you really do well. This is what you do well. This is what we love. And then instead of saying this is what you crap at, you can say, and this is what we want to see more of. 2 wonderful ways to give feedback. So I'm definitely words, quality time and physical touch. My partner is the same. So we're like, easily and effortlessly showing each other our appreciation. But I've worked with couples and they're complete opposites, right? But just because you're an opposite doesn't mean you're not going to get on. The whole point of this is to see this 5 and understand each other's differences and work on it. So I had one girl talk to me and she said, my husband's always telling me how much he likes me and stuff. And I'm like, oh, yeah, just buy me the handbag. So just by someone saying that, I'm like, right, okay, your tangible gifts in these words. It's easy.
Yeah. And once you know what they are, you can spot them. You can see
Yeah.
the patterns quite easily, can't you? But I wanted to come back to this physical touch for a moment, because I think of all the other ones, you're never going to offend people by saying thank you, spending time with them, giving them a gift or serving them in some way. However, With physical touch, I think that one you may need to be a bit careful with. And I know that's one of my love languages for the people close to me, but
Strangers.
outside with strangers, that feels quite creepy and weird sometimes. But I did learn, my wonderful boss that gave me that book, he did say, you know, when networking or when you're telling people something and you want them to feel that you really appreciate it, just tap them very gently on the shoulder or just a light touch. It doesn't need to be a full on embrace. And that makes it all the more sincere. And that felt so weird to me at first. But when I started to do it, it felt so good. And you could really see the other person have that connection and they did feel more appreciated. So maybe one to be a little bit cautious of, as you say, you need to be sure that the other person's going to respond well to that, but perhaps do something small. I was wondering, is there any way to demonstrate physical touch when you have an online business? Because so many people now have moved their business online, they're doing all their events through Zoom, and there's no real way to reach out and touch people. But I was wondering if there was any kind of equivalent for that or not really.
So you can't see this because it's a podcast, but I'm always, when I leave my Zooms, I always give people a kiss. Do you mean, blow people a kiss? That's because they're receiving that. So again, you can emulate it. Or I just, sometimes it was a bit cheesy at first, but I love it. I just go, oh, give yourself a squeeze or a hug, or you can do high fives like that. But in an online world, you'd use the other ones.
Mhm.
Now you know 5. Step 1, you need to know what yours is, and you will know, they'll resonate with you. You'll instantly know now. Now, step 2 is understanding what the other person's is. Now, there's different ways you can do this. One way is to ask, but if you just say, what's your love language? They go, sorry, what are you talking about? So you need to listen. That's a trick that we don't do. So people always complain. We love complaining. And they'll always complain about what they're not getting. And if they're complaining about it, that's what they need. That's what they want. So they'll say, do you know what? They never tell me. They never tell me what they're feeling, or they never tell me what to do. Words, they don't feel communicate. You know what I mean? You need to give them more words. They never spend any time with me. That's quality time. Or they never, show me, or I wish they would do this for me. It's acts of service. And they'll tell you if they want gifts. And, I don't feel loved. It'd be hugs, they complain. Or the third way is, I mentioned before that we communicate in our own style. They'll be showing you in their own style. So if someone's always telling you words, maybe give them words back. So that, that mirroring, we've talked about that in communication, is that you just mirror them. Yeah. If you try those 2 ways, or the 4th way is just simply ask, look, I think you're doing a really good job. If I wanted to show you in any way to appreciate you, what would that look like for you? And they'll tell you. Why are we so shy of asking how people would like to be appreciated? It shouldn't have to be guesswork, should it?
Yeah, I have a feeling that this is going to be something that will feel, as I said, feel a little bit weird and awkward at first, but it's going to become very quickly quite addictive once you realize, oh, now I know how to really connect with this person and show my appreciation and make them feel valued and heard and understood. And the difference that makes in your relationships with everybody, as you say, there's people everywhere, then I think you're going to start to say, oh, well, how else can I use this new superpower, and just enjoy building these incredible relationships bit by bit.
There is a warning that comes with this.
Okay.
We love to show appreciation, don't we? We want to try and show it, but have you ever tried to receive it? As women, we love to give, but how well we are at receiving? It feels weird to receive. It really does. So even I reject it sometimes. You reject it. Someone gives you a compliment. Oh, your hair looks nice. Oh, I've not washed it. Is that receiving? It's not. It's rejecting, isn't it? Someone's trying to give you a compliment, you've just thrown it back in their face. Or someone says, your dress looks nice. Oh, it's from the sale or charity shop. I don't know. So there is a warning, because we want to give. People might now start wanting to give back to you. So you need to be ready to receive. The universal language, you need to be ready to receive. So a simple way, we've talked about it before, when you say just smile and say thank you, where someone's trying to now show you some appreciation, they'll be nervous at first. And so I help them along the journey of, I just say thank you and smile. So it's receiving appreciation is another one.
Yeah, and I love that, and it's right. It's something that I struggled with before as well. And someone would say something nice, and I would be thinking internally, "Oh, they don't really mean that. Oh, well, it's this little thing." But then it makes the other person feel bad, as you say. And then, like the example with your partner, where they just stopped cooking because they were giving out that love and appreciation, but it wasn't being received and appreciated. So yeah, I think that part's really important, and it can be just be as simple as a smile and a thank you, or a touch on the arm, thanks so much, and then the other person feels so good. But you're right, I think we're terrible at doing that part.
So here's the challenge. Are you ready for the challenge?
Ready for the challenge.
I want you to appreciate 5 people in 5 days. Use whichever appreciation language that's relevant to them. And I want you to do it the next week. Appreciate 5 more people the week after that. But the most important thing I want you to do is put you on the top of that list. So how are you showing your self-appreciation? And I want you to use all 5 every single day. So with words, how are you talking to yourself? How are you being kind to yourself? We've talked about gratitude. It falls under all of that. How are you giving yourself quality time? You know, if you look at my diary, Jesus, I'd sack myself 100 times because no human being is possible to do this stuff. So how are you carving out quality time for you? Because when life gets busy and your day gets busy, if you notice that it's your time that you cut out first, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. I do it all the time, and I have to be strong, protect my boundaries, and make sure I've got the quality time that I need for me. Because if you're feeling great, then everyone around you is going to feel the benefit, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can take that time. It's something that I didn't do in my business for a very long time. In fact, I burnt out my first business. That was one of the reasons. And I now take every Friday off, and I call it my Friday business school, because one of the things that I realized I didn't have in my first business that I really need is the personal development and growth. So Friday business school is where I focus in on my learning, in upgrading my skills, but also for networking and fun and anything I want to, really. But I don't take client appointments or any other meetings on a Friday, well, apart from today. It's an exception. So, and that's been amazing, and it hasn't impacted my business at all. If anything, it's been a really good thing. And I remember Kelly Heine on the podcast, when she was talking about, she scaled up her business and suddenly she was running this $1 million business with a team and an office, and she was just running crazy, and then thought, hold on a minute, if I don't carve out a time, and she takes one afternoon off a week, and that's just for her. She goes to the gym, she goes to the spa, she does whatever she needs to do. And she said, it's amazing. Nothing has changed in my business. And we just think we have to keep going and the sky will fall down if I don't do this on time. But we are the CEOs of our own business, of our own time, of our agenda. It's up to us to give ourselves permission and appreciation and take that space. And yeah, everybody, you have that permission now. Me and Susie tell you, you can take that time.
So it's quality time and ask for help. So ask for help. Why do we think we're superhuman? We're not superhuman. Ask for help. Really, from today, I ask for help all the time now. From the universe, usually, no. And buy yourself stuff. You're not earning all this money to keep in a bank account. Treat yourself. It doesn't have to be big things. Just treat yourself. Whatever that looks like for you. We always spend money on everybody else, but what are you spending on yourself? And then if you need a hug, ask for a hug. Ask for it. So yeah, that's the power of appreciation.
Yeah, or buy a dog. Dogs are very good at hugs.
Oh yeah, they're unconditional love right there, aren't they?
Susie, thank you so much. You know, what I love about this is it's simple. As you say, by now, everyone listening has already understood a bit more about themselves and how they like to receive love and appreciation, and can already start to build better relationships. They don't need to wait a single second or invest a penny. We can all do this. I love that it's so straightforward and simple and so complete. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you feel people would benefit from knowing to make all of this work for them?
So I think I just want to summarize it up. So we're all unique, aren't we? We're all individuals and different, and that's what we want to celebrate. But we are all ultimately the same. All we want is to feel listened to, heard, and understood, to know that we matter, and to feel valued and appreciated. But how I want that and how you want that is different. Yeah, we all want it. Every single one of us wants it. I always ask this in a room. We all, who wants that? I want that. But how we want it is different. And this is just one way, one toolkit you can have in your back pocket to enable yourself to feel all of those things and other people too. I've got a link that I'll share with you. And what you touched on before is this doesn't have to cost a penny. The other thing I teach is DISC personality profiling. Everything I teach you doesn't cost a penny to apply in your everyday life. And that's more powerful, especially the cost of running a household these days. So that's it. But if you've got any questions, anybody can contact me if you just want to talk it through and how you can use it in your business, in your everyday life. I'm open to receiving any email or calls.
Brilliant. And yeah, if you want to show your appreciation for Susie and everything she shared with you today, Susie, what's the best way for them to contact you?
By email. So it's susie@showthelight.ltd. I'll ask another favour. If you want me to do this talk in any of your groups, I'm quite happy to share this love, because I think the more people are switched on and showing each other appreciation, the better we're feeling and we're making other people feel. Do you not think that the positive energy, the better the world will be?
Yeah, there's that saying that knowledge is power. And I so often saw leaders closing doors, keeping this knowledge to themselves, having these secret conversations. That is not turn knowledge into power. It's through sharing. So thank you so much for offering to share this wisdom further so we can all step into this. And I agree. If everybody in the world had showed appreciation and felt heard and understood, I mean, we'd be living in an incredible place for sure. So Susie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today. I hope you have found this episode valuable and are all set to build stronger relationships with yourself and others by thinking about and applying love languages in different ways. If you have enjoyed this episode, please do take a minute to help another business owner grow by sharing the show with your network and business besties. You could drop them an email or share this episode on social media. And if you leave a review for the show on iTunes, this does a lot to help more entrepreneurs to find the show. It just takes a minute. But know that when you do, I will be doing a happy dance here in my office, and more business owners will benefit from the wisdom contained within these episodes. And again, I would love for you to come and join us at the Dream Clients Club and to welcome you at our next value session. These are weekly live masterclasses with me. It's completely free to join the community. You'll find us at melitacampbell.com/club. There are a lot more tools, tips, and insights coming up for you on the show, so don't miss next week's episode, or better still, subscribe now so you never miss your weekly dose of inspiration. And our next episode is something a little bit special, as it's episode, drumroll, 200. I'm really excited to have made it to this milestone, and I've only got here with your ongoing support, feedback, and encouragement. If you've been following the show over the last few years, you'll know that being an introvert and struggling with my shy girl, this isn't necessarily always the easiest place for me to be, but I do love being on this show. I love sharing my insights and wisdom with you, and what I've learned works, and often what I've learned doesn't work the hard way. And I've loved all the incredible interviews I've had on the show, and I love meeting so many of you over in the Dream Clients Club too. So don't miss next week's episode. As I say, it's a little bit different, and you'll see me and the show in a whole new light. So I look forward to meeting you next week on the show. Meantime, I've been Melita Campbell, your business coach and value whisperer, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye.